The average person spends their life trying to get out of debt. The average billionaire spends their life trying to get more of it. This is not a coincidence, and it is not recklessness either. It is a completely different understanding of what debt actually is. Average Joe has been taught his whole life that debt is dangerous. He pays off his credit card early, saves carefully, and sleeps far better when the number he owes someone else is getting smaller. Most financial advice in the world is built around this instinct. Pay off what you owe. Stay out of debt for good. The wealthiest people on the planet quietly ignore this advice, not because they are careless, because they learned something about debt that most people never do. Debt, in the right hands, is not a burden. It is a tool, and like any tool, what matters is not the object itself, but who is holding it and why. To understand this, you need to understand one idea first: the difference between debt that costs you money and debt that makes you money. When average Joe borrows, he usually borrows to buy something that loses value the moment he owns it. A car, a holiday, a television upgrade. The moment he drives the car off the lot, it is worth less than what he owes on it. He is paying interest on something that is shrinking. That is what most people experience as debt, and it genuinely is a trap. But when wealthy people borrow, they borrow to buy things that grow in value. Businesses, properties, investment portfolios. The asset grows. The debt stays fixed. The gap between those two numbers is profit built on someone else's money. This concept has a name: leverage. Here is how the math works in plain terms. If you invest your own $100,000 at 10%, you make $10,000. But if you borrow $900,000, combine it with your own, invest $1 million, and earn the same 10%, you make $100,000. Your actual return on your own money just jumped from 10% to 100%. You used other people's money to multiply what your own could do. This is why wealthy investors call borrowed capital OPM, other people's money, and they use it constantly and deliberately. But leverage is only the first reason. There is a second reason wealthy people love debt that almost nobody discusses. Debt is one of the most tax-efficient strategies available to people with significant assets. Here is the quiet problem wealthy people face. Their wealth is not sitting in a bank account. It is locked inside assets, stocks, real estate, private businesses. As long as they do not sell those assets, they owe no tax on the growth. But the moment they sell, a significant tax bill arrives. So what do they do when they need cash? They borrow against the assets instead of selling them. The bank lends money using the investment portfolio or property as collateral. The wealthy person receives cash without triggering a sale. The assets remain intact and keep growing. No sale means no taxable event. No taxable event means no tax bill. The loan itself is not income, so it is not taxed as income. They are living off borrowed money that cannot be taxed. This strategy has an informal name among financial planners: buy, borrow, die. Buy the appreciating assets. Borrow against them for cash without selling. And in many tax systems, when the owner eventually dies, the assets transfer to heirs in a way that eliminates much of the accumulated capital gains. The enormous tax bill that was always theoretical never actually arrives. Most people have never been told this exists, because the people who use it are not in the habit of explaining it. There is a third force making debt attractive to wealthy people: inflation. When you borrow $1 million today and repay it 10 years from now, you repay with money that has been quietly eroded. The number on paper is identical, but its real purchasing power is lower. The lender technically gets their money back, but the borrower has paid back less real value than they originally received. Wealthy people with large long-term debts are quietly winning against inflation every year the loan sits there. And here is the part that surprises most people. The bank is perfectly comfortable with this arrangement, because the bank is not lending its own money. It is lending deposits from ordinary savers, earning interest on money it does not own, while holding the wealthy person's appreciating assets as security throughout. The bank wins. The wealthy borrower wins. The only casualty is the assumption that debt is universally something to fear. So why does average Joe not do this? Two reasons. The first is access. Borrowing against assets requires having assets first. The second is psychology. Most people feel genuine discomfort owing large sums of money. That discomfort is completely rational when the debt is attached to something losing value, but it becomes an obstacle when the debt is attached to something growing faster than the interest being charged on it. Wealthy people have simply recalibrated their emotional relationship with owing money. They do not feel the dread average Joe feels when he sees a large balance outstanding. They see a number representing how much of other people's capital is currently working on their behalf. Average Joe was taught that debt is the enemy of financial freedom. The wealthy were taught that debt is the infrastructure of financial growth. One group is racing to reach zero as fast as possible. The other is using debt as the engine of their entire financial strategy. The money flowing through the system is the same. The philosophy directing it is completely different, and the gap between those two philosophies is a significant part of why the wealth gap keeps growing.